Hey, it's Liz from Thrice, and it is Web3 Wednesday. This past weekend, I went into the metaverse with a MetaQuest 2 headset, often called the Oculus, the original name of that headset. And it was a pretty cool experience. I'm going to talk about the good stuff, the not so good stuff, and then give my verdict on the overall experience. So, first, the good stuff. I completely felt transformed to a new place. I mean, when I took my headset off, I almost was shocked that I was back in my own apartment. You can set some very cool backgrounds. I picked an amazing ski lodge motif that had a roaring fire and couches and a patio deck you could stand on and look out over these incredible mountains, probably the Swiss Alps or something, with gondolas going up and down. You really did feel like, wow, I'm in this incredible mountain resort. It was also fairly easy to navigate the menus inside and create an avatar for myself that basically resembles you, similar to making a Bitmoji or something like that. And in this particular case, you do start out with legs, which is nice. More on that later. There were some free games and things to try out that made it easy to just kind of jump in and see how you liked being in the metaverse. I did a boxing workout where these balls come at you and you have to punch them and then you have to duck under things, and you could completely see how you could work up a great sweat or actually play tennis or golf or do any of those things. And after a while, I did sort of forget I had the headset on. It didn't feel cumbersome or heavy, in my head, and I was distracted by doing the activity. The other thing is kind of nice is you can have up to 4 accounts associated with a single headset and decide to share those apps or not with other people that have the accounts. And you yourself, it's just you that owns it. You could have a business account and set up an avatar for that and have different apps for that, and then have a gaming account or different things that you might want to do in different scenarios. So I thought that was really good. Now, the not so good stuff. The first few minutes can be pretty destabilizing. I put the headset on and then I took it off and I felt, whoa, my head is, kind of heavy, sort of like I've been on a boat for a while and now I'm walking on stable ground again, but I still feel a little bit off. This did go away, and oddly, the more I wore the headset, sort of the better it got. So that was okay, but you do have to kind of fight through that, and I know some people do feel nausea and whatnot. So the other thing is, when you first setting up this new account, my business partner Polly already had registered the Oculus and set up her account. And so for me to do my full account, you have to sign in and create a Meta account, and it's sort of tied to your Facebook account. And you have to take the headset off to do this and use a phone or a laptop. So on and off with the headset, you have to remember numbers and letters, and it's a bit annoying. The other thing is, when you first put the headset on, they want you to create your environment in terms of where you're going to be moving around so you don't run into your furniture and the like. And so you set the floor, and then you draw a boundary kind of around yourself, and that creates this virtual cage. And when you get too close to the cage, it lights up and it's like, hey, don't go over there. And so every time you put on and off the headset, if you walk out of the cage to your laptop or something, then you have to go back through the cage and reset. It's a bit annoying. So you probably want to bring your phone with you into your little area when you're doing this setup. Most of the time you don't have legs when you're in the metaverse. This is kind of weird. You look down and you see your chest and your arms and everything, but you have no legs. And this is basically because you don't put sensors on your legs. You can hold sensors in your hands and click buttons and do things. Much harder to do that with your legs. So I'm sure over time they'll be figuring this out, and there are super high-end setups where you can have full motion, but most people aren't going to invest in that at this stage. The other thing is the left controller completely failed. Unfortunately, the basic fixes like take out the batteries and try some other things that I saw on YouTube didn't work. So I could only use my right arm while I was in the metaverse, and that was obviously not great. Now I'm down to one arm and no legs. And fixing it requires basically the initial person who set up the Oculus puts an app on their phone, and a second person can't put another iteration of that same app. You have to register it to the serial number of the Oculus. So Polly's going to need to come over to my house, and well, I have the Oculus here, or I take it to her house, because it has to be in the same location, co-located. I think it talks via, Bluetooth from the app to the headset. So at minimum, you need to be on the same Wi-Fi. So anyway, it's a little bit complicated to fix some of these problems. And then ultimately, we don't know how long this is going to be around. Mark Zuckerberg seems super committed, but they did lose almost $14 billion last year in their Metaverse division. So we'll see where all this is going. Ultimately, my verdict is that I thought it was really cool and I would do it again, but there's no way I'm giving up my skis or, not going to be going outside to actually do these amazing activities. I much prefer real life, but this was a pretty cool substitute, and I might use it for a workout here and there. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this review, and we'll see you next week on Web3 Wednesday.